Hello and welcome to another episode of the Uncommon Energy Podcast. On this week's episode, we're going to have a little bit of an update to a story we talked about last week, the marked cards situation at Milwaukee Regionals. We will do City League watch this week, see what kind of updates we've got with the new Inferno X expansion legal over there in Japan. Phantasmal Flames around the corner for us over here in the West. Then we will, of course, have Guess That Flavor Text, the most important and everyone's favorite segment of the podcast every single week. And then we're going to wrap up this week by talking about the Lille Regional Championships taking place over in France this weekend. Going to be an exciting one. Azul, I'm assuming, is going to be doing a watch party. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Europe has to offer for their first regionals in this new Mega Evolution format. And then, of course, we will have our weekly bonus episode exclusive to our YouTube channel members and Spotify subscribers. My name is Chip Ritchie, and I'm joined here, as always, by my friend and co-host, Azul GG. What's up, Azul? How we doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good, Chip. Yeah, this last week I was actually over at your house because we were
I
filming
know.
some more content. Well, the people don't know. I was that was the point.
It was like you were
I was
telling me, but I'm
well,
like,
no, but
I'm aware.
I was over at Chip's. We were filming some content for the Uncommon Energy secondary channel, which if you don't know, me and Chip do have another YouTube channel together here on YouTube where we make like more casual, challenge based, still playing the game Pokemon TCG content, and that's where I was this last week. So I've been traveling for a couple weeks now, so I haven't done as much streaming content stuff like that. So going to be getting back into that this week. It's been a little while, but honestly, this it is interesting traveling these last 2 weeks and not competing. Usually, like 2 weeks in a row of like competing traveling, I'd be like super burnt out, like back to back weeks. But yeah, I'm feeling kind of fine. It's like more the traveling is less stressful, less less stressful, I guess. But yeah, also like less like even doing the casting weekend 2 weeks ago now in Milwaukee. Like, if I was playing that weekend, I'd be a lot more tired coming back after that, but yeah, the traveling is definitely different when it's not to compete. I definitely realized that when I got home, because yeah, even 2 weeks in a row, basically here, still kind of chilling, feel fine, gonna get back into streaming, tomorrow. But yeah, had fun the last couple weeks. I was gonna say, what about you, Chip? But what
I
about you,
had this
Chip?
guy like kind of bumming it in my house all week this past week. That
Yeah.
was good. Yeah, Azul came over and yeah, I got some good stuff done. A bunch of videos filmed for that second channel. We've been a little slow with some stuff on the second channel, mostly because I've just had a lot going on. And so it's been on me to kind of get the process moving on. So hopefully we will have some videos coming out again on that channel very, very soon. Be sure to stay tuned and check it out. But yeah, it was good. We had a good time. We actually did some fun stuff as well while you were here. We went to the North Carolina State Fair, which was a blast. And ate some good food. Azul won a giant plush otter toy for my son Samuel, and he loves it. He has named it Justin Otter, and he carries it around with him everywhere in the house. He takes it downstairs with him. He'll read it books. I need to actually see if I can just send a picture to my computer so I can pull it up and share it because it is funny. And Azul won it for him at a carnival game at the fair. So shout out to Azul.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's, like, bigger than him, by quite a bit. So,
Yeah.
he
Hang on, I'm gonna send
struggles
it
to
to you.
move it himself.
Yeah, but he's insistent that it must come with him like downstairs or just around the house and stuff like that. I'm gonna send it to you on Discord so I can just pull it up here. Um, but yeah, it was good to get all that done. And um you talking about the traveling and stuff and the where it like the difference between competing traveling and like doing the more casual stuff that you've been doing. um it's funny because you spent a lot of time at my house this week talking about how you really were wanting to go to the little regional championships this coming weekend.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It was something and then we kind of talked about this, um, with we talked about this with last weekend with Milwaukee, how we both kind of felt like that was like a tournament where it's like, especially for you, it probably what felt even. more so because you cast all the time. For me, it was like my first time casting. So
Right.
like I was like a lot more excited to like cast and like that was still but for you, it was like, man, this is like one of those tournaments where with from what I've played in the format, and I said this as well, is like I really wanted to play Charizard, you really want to play Sarah Ledge. We both felt like really good about the format and just like wanting to compete. And I kind of still feel the same way going into Lil, uh, with Charizard still. like I have like a build I would want to play and everything, but and I looked at flights last minute to see if it'd be worth it. I think I could still register it when I was at your house for Lil. I don't know if registration's still open for it, but I was definitely considering well, at least getting back home first to get some clean clothes and all that kind of stuff. But getting back home and then going to Lille, but not gonna end up happening. I'll be watch partying it instead. But for how I feel about the format and like specifically wanting to play Charizard, I was giving it some serious thought until I saw the price of the flights and I was like, this is probably not worth it to go to Lille. I kind of almost like wish I had committed to going to like Lille and Gdansk back to back because it is back to back weekends coming up here. So that would have been pretty cool just to like travel in Europe for not a full week, but I guess roughly a week if I went to like Lille early, something like
It's
that, see
it's
some more
it's
of
a full
Europe.
week.
Yeah, pretty much. Travel around Europe a little bit and play some Pokemon. So if another opportunity like this comes up again with these back-to-back tournaments in somewhere like Europe, I think I'll probably do it and just commit to playing. The thing is, like, a lot of this did come down to like, I really like the format right now. There's a deck I would really want to play, but that's not always going to be a constant in the format in the metagame, right? Like, I didn't really care about playing in Pittsburgh at all. I would have much rather watch party it like I did. So it is kind of just like a spur of the moment type thing, which leads to things being more expensive if you're trying to go last minute.
Here is the for those curious, the picture of Azul holding the giant otter after he claimed victory, and here is Samuel holding said giant otter as well. Bigger than him, he loves it, and he has been like literally sitting on the couch reading books. So big ups to Azul for getting him the big otter.
Yeah. Definitely not something I was looking to try and take back with me in my suitcase for sure. So I'm glad Samuel ended up liking it.
You'd have had to like buy another airplane seat for this thing.
Yeah, maybe I could actually have fit it in my big suitcase. I'd have to like scrunch it down in my big suitcase would be the only thing. But obviously, I don't need a giant stuffed otter, but Samuel does.
No, well,
No,
I don't
he
know if
does.
he
It's true.
needs it, but he's got it now and he loves it. So,
Yeah.
all right, well, let's just go ahead and hop right into things here with our first topic, which is an update to the marked cards situation we talked about last week. For those who are not informed, at the Milwaukee Regional Championships, there was a player, Luke Smith, who was disqualified from Top Cut after not being able to pass the Top Cut deck check. The judges identified two of the cards in his deck as being too warped to continue to play with, and they determined since he had been playing the whole tournament with them that it was like a potential of an advantage gain, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. That leads to him being disqualified. Now, one of the things I don't know if we talked about this or not. I mean, I'm sure we did because it was in Hunter's post last week, but um Luke was deck checked previously in the tournament, so it always is a feels bad as like a player whenever if in finding yourself in that situation where it's like, well, I mean, why did I pass the deck check 5 rounds ago, and then now it's all of a sudden DQable when I'm at this later stage in the tournament? If there was a problem, I wish it had been brought up earlier.
Yeah, definitely. I guess that is like one thing I don't think I thought about too hard when we were going through everything last week was like he did have a warning from the previous round, and that is something he even tried to bring up to the judges and be like, "Are we sure this is a warning? Right? Are we sure I should be getting a warning here?" And the judges said, "Yeah, it should be a warning." I guess that'd be like one thing I'd be like specifically curious about would be like, did that warning actually lead to the DQ, or would it have not been a DQ if that wasn't a warning there? I guess we don't know. Um, for sure. But that is something that can happen. Like something that could go. I don't know if it would go to like from like warning to DQ though. I think it would go from warning to match loss or game loss.
Well, I
Not
mean,
match
I
loss, but
think
game
people
loss.
have been DQ'd for this exact offense when there has been no prior warning. I think it's just been like over the
Yeah.
last couple seasons, this blanket thing of player gets to top cut, there's a deck sleeve, whatever issue, they are going to be DQ'd. Which
Yeah.
is the more I've kind of thought about it, the more it just feels too harsh. Now, because the difference, so like a DQ means the player is removed from the tournament entirely. They do not get any of the prizing they would have gotten up to that
Yeah.
point. So I think it would be more reasonable, like if they think so. There's kind of two possibilities here. The judges. So like one thing is a fact: a player's card is marked, a sleeve is marked, whatever. Okay, so that is like a fact of this situation. That's happened a couple times over the last season or two. Um, and in this situation, uh, it is always possible that a player has gained an advantage due to this,
Yeah.
or maybe it's not even so much that a player has gained an advantage, but it's always possible that someone could have gained an advantage, like they could have done something with it, right? Even if they didn't actually do it, it's like the potential of it being there, and that card is not, suitable for tournament play. They're at a deeper point in the tournament. I think it would be reasonable to give that player a match loss or a game loss, like, but even a match loss, right? Say, okay, you're not able to compete in the tournament anymore, but you still get your final standing. I think
Yeah.
really, the more I've thought about it this past week, the really only time that I think it's reasonable for someone to be disqualified from a Pokemon tournament is if the judges catch someone cheating or someone breaks the rules of the tournament, like does one of there's like other things that can get you DQ'd, like spirit of the game type stuff,
Yeah.
like, you know,
Trusting how
disruptive
to judge,
things,
trusting out
right?
an
Yeah.
opponent, stuff like
Yep,
that.
yep, yep. So like unless they do something that is strictly outlined as like DQable, or they think there is a higher percent chance that they did cheat versus not cheat, right? So in this instance of a marked card, let's say someone has had a couple of warnings about a sleeve issue, a marked card issue, and they've been given multiple opportunities to like, go get a new card or to replace the sleeves. And then it's coming up again and again. Maybe then there is a higher percent chance that there is cheating going on. I'm not saying I think anything happened with Luke or anything like that, but I'm just thinking through like logically how this could be mapped out.
Yeah.
Versus there's a potential higher percent chance that someone was cheating than not. I don't think he definitely was, but there's a chance he was, right? Um, or if it's like someone's first offense, there's not been any warnings, then there's probably a lower there's more likely that they weren't cheating than were, right?
Yeah.
And so at that point, I think like if they feel like the person is not cheating, but there's needs to be some sort of penalty given, I think I would like to see this be changed to a match loss moving forward. But a lot of discussion kind of continued around this week because Dan Squared over on Twitter actually posted a video of said pheasantipity, the pheasantipity in question, the famous he called this a $3,000 pheasantipity. This card cost someone $3,000, and there was someone in the replies like, "Really? I saw this card at my card shop for $12." But here is the Fez in full display.
And it doesn't look extremely, but it's so hard to like. All right, so it doesn't look extremely work, but it's all about how it sits in the deck and it sits next to other cards. Like I don't like put too much stock in this video being like, oh my gosh, uh, Luke was horribly wronged. Like also like another thing, I don't think they. This is we're quite a ways past Milwaukee. Like I don't think they changed anything about the card. You know, like I said, I think Luke and Dan are were pretty trustworthy people as far as this goes, but like we're like quite a bit of past the event. You can't take I like I just wouldn't put too much stock in a video like this a week after the event. And it's like it has to be compared to the other cards in the deck. Like something like this is just not I don't know, it's not going to sway me basically at all from like their decision. As far as I know, this is what I said last week on the episode. As far as I know, it seems like the judges did the things by the book. But like you said, and I honestly, we talked about this a little bit before we started recording, and with you talking about it now, I think maybe the book needs to be changed. Like one thing I will mention to your point though about um like building up. Like obviously, like no matter what, if there's severe negligence on the player's part, that should be penalized, even to the degree of a DQ, right? Like you can only you're even if they don't think you're cheating, you can only do so much stuff that is the disruptions to the tournament and like general gameplay of a game that you should be able to not be DQ'd, right?
Sure.
But not everyone is going to get deck checked multiple times throughout a tournament. So it's hard to weigh. Well, that's like one thing to think about in weighing that is like if we deck check someone 3 times throughout a tournament, He's more likely to have a better track record of what we expect from that player or like more insight. But if we only deck check someone once before top cut happens, it's like, well, this is it. This is all we have to go off is this one time, right? And if we think there's a problem with their sleeves, we don't have like a track record throughout the tournament to go off of to like make a more informed decision on like a potential penalty versus not penalty. Whereas if you only deck check someone one time going to top cut, that's all you've got to work with, right? So there is like that factor as well. But I do think I agree in general where I think maybe the rules are a little bit too harsh. Also, yeah, like in something like Luke's situation, maybe the warning from day one is what changed from it being a match loss versus a DQ, right? Because like you mentioned, if it's a match loss, he would have gotten top 16. He would have effectively like lost his top 16 match or his top cut match, whatever, and ended up in top 16. But because they gave him a DQ, he's completely removed from the tournament. And I think I said this last week. I was like, if they think he's cheating, he'll probably get banned. As far as I'm aware, he's not banned, so I don't think they think he's cheating. But it's like, okay, if you don't think he's cheating, did he really do anything so severe, or were the cards so severe that he shouldn't have just got a match loss there? Maybe he should have just got a match loss, or maybe we should go further and maybe it should have just been like a game loss going into cut or something. Like maybe I think I almost agree with you. I think like the penalties currently are too harsh. The punishment does not fit the crime, basically, especially for like just kind of the variability in like what happens when you're playing a physical game like Pokemon, where things have to be maintained at such a high level of consistency in terms of your cards in your deck and your sleeves and stuff like that. I think maybe the rules are a little bit too harsh right now and need to be brought back a bit. But that's what I was saying a lot last week was like, it seems like everything was done by the book. You shouldn't really have a problem with him being DQ'd. You should have a problem with the rules in the book. And I think I am starting to come around on that myself. And I think the rules are too harsh right now, probably.
I will say we talked about riffle shuffling a little bit last week.
Yeah.
And as an avid riffle shuffler, I will say you can definitely tell that that's what it looks like has happened to this card. You can see that kind of bend right there in the middle of the
Yeah.
back. Maybe this is cause enough to say it's not worth it to riffle shuffle your cards, even though it feels so good. The potential damage you could cause to your own cards, I mean, could create a situation like this, right? And I actually just I wanted to go back and double check to make sure. I went back to the regionals that Luke actually won, and you can see here after this search, he does a couple matches, and then he is a definitely a riffle shuffler. So
Yeah.
maybe that's where things come in here, and where maybe that's like one of the takeaways is not a this is something that should be done to that should stop being done to help like protect yourself as a player, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's literally what I've been saying that for a while. It's literally what I said last week as well. Just don't wire. There's just no point in riffle shuffling. All you're doing, and to even give some more weight to this, although I don't know if he's riffle shuffled in the past. I'm pretty sure Tord only mass shuffles as well. And I don't know if he has the same superstitions as I do, where it's just like, what is the point of risking the damaging of your cards? Now he does play like full art stuff, so maybe he keeps that in mind as well as to why he does that. But um, a strong reason I think is just to avoid the damaging of a card. It's way easier to damage your cards when you're riffle shuffling than if you're not riffle shuffling. And hollow cards are more likely to become damaged in that same uh sense. Like I said, another way you can protect yourself, you could play all hollow cards because then they're more likely to be uniform uh and have similar patterns through riffle shuffling them. So you should probably like if you go that route, you might be fine. To be honest, I haven't like really, I've never played like full hollow, so I don't even know what like your deck would look like or feel like if it's full hollow and you're riffle shuffling. But that could be another way to protect yourself. Would be to go
I wonder if that's
full
like
hollow.
literally the optimal thing to do is like all reverse hollow, like same as close to same hollow as possible uh setup.
Yeah, and that'd be another reason to like fully bling out your deck as well because they're all of like a thicker form. I actually know a player who purposely hollows their cards because of that to like keep things more uniform. Because if you go non-hollow, you can't have non-hollow EXs or radiants in the past and stuff like that. So you always had some hollow cards. So if you go full hollow, there's actually an argument that your deck is going to be more uniform across the board. But then you have to play with full hollow, all hollow cards, which honestly, the current day and age of the game, it doesn't even make things that much more expensive. To be honest, like it's
Yeah, if you're
pretty
playing with
similar.
like full arts versus the secret illustration rares, all right, like you can get like a full art version of a Pokemon or a supporter card, and not the secret illustration rare, and it's like not as crazy. But also, like if you literally just get the reverse hollow version, it's definitely not going to be that expensive, right?
Yeah. I think that would raise the question is like, are we going too far then? Or should we think about it and be like, are the rules definitely just way too harsh if we're saying people shouldn't like you can still riffle shuffle, obviously. Because it's like when I say I hate pile counting and people are like, "Oh, so well, to stop telling people how to shuffle their decks." And it's like, sure, that's not what I'm saying. You can pile count. I just think it's silly. And all it does is make it look like you could be or all it's silly and makes it seem like you're wasting time. I was gonna say could look like you could be cheating, but that's my response to when people draw their prize cards out of order. So we'll stop telling people how to draw their prize cards. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what it looks like. Um yeah, do we get to the point where it's like, wait, we're playing a physical card game with cards, and theoretically, the best way to achieve sufficient randomization is through riffle shuffling. Matching is like I've said in the past, matching is basically just as good. You have to do more matches than riffles, but you can do it in about the same amount of time. It doesn't really matter too much. Um, but yeah, that seems like if we get to that point, it's like, what are we doing here? Where we're saying you basically can't riffle shuffle, or all you're doing is making it harder for you to win the tournament. That's like, it does seem kind of silly once we get to that point. But for where we're at currently, for where the rules currently are, you got to do the most you can as a player to protect yourself from potential penalties, right? So, like I've been saying for a while, like I said last week, there's no point in riffle shuffling. Stop riffle shuffling. Just mass shuffle. Do with that what you will.
Another discussion I saw come up around this was, should players have regionals copies of cards and then like locals copies of cards, cards they use for testing, cards they use at their local tournaments, but then save certain, like have versions of cards that they save for the higher level events that are like in better condition that get played less. Because I mean, so many people go to Pokemon tournaments like multiple
Mhm.
times a week. They go to locals, they go to league cups and league challenges on the weekends, they travel to regionals, right? That's a lot of wear on cards. And if you have like one Pheasantipity EX that's being shuffled constantly for 2 3 years while it's legal in the game, right? I mean, it's gonna get worn down a little bit. Even if you're not riffle shuffling, it'll start to, you'll start to see that, right?
Yeah, like I said, there is like a certain point of there's like a line of, are we really saying that cards that have been played this much and have been maintained pretty well can't be used because it could be marked or it's close enough to being marked? Is the line for what is marked cross the line? And there's a certain point of like just players like negligence, right? Like if they're just like truly coming in with a card that is super warped, super damaged, like it's all right, you got to get a new Pheasantipity. Like this, we can't. This is not acceptable, right? So there's like a line there that we cross at some point, where it's like if you've been using the same Pheasantipity in every league challenge, in every league cup, in every major tournament that you go to for even like honestly, even like 6 months, like a year, like at a certain point, it's like, well, there's not like really a point. You eventually have to buy a new Pheasantipity, maybe, right? For sure. So I would say keep it around like extra copies of those cards for like major tournament play versus local tournament play. I don't know, it's just so much to keep track of. And it would only be for like those big because like what are you gonna do if you only play one deck? Like if you only play Dragapult, you have two copies of a Dragapult deck, I guess, right? Like the
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
deck.
yeah.
Like are we just talking about like key cards versus at that point it's the whole deck, right? Like if you only play Dragapult, at that point we're talking about two copies of a Dragapult deck, which like no one wants to do that. No one wants to invest into two decks. If you're like a really high level player who's like competing to win these tournaments, there's a reasonable argument for that. But if you're like a more casual player, something like that, maybe you make day twos, but like you're not that bent on like expectations for like getting top cut, something like that, then I feel like it's probably a little silly. I did see also another comment in that same kind of line of like things you could do to protect yourself. They were talking about like the slim deck boxes versus like bigger deck boxes. So your cards are more tightly fit together in the box, which leads to potentially like less warping. I don't know if there's like anything to that really, to be honest, but there could be. I've always thought about like some kind of spring. I've thought about this before, but I've never seen anything like this, but some kind of like spring divider that like expands with a spring or something to like take up space in like deck boxes or places to store your cards instead of like
Yeah, I
using like
think
the foam stuff like that. Like some kind of like
then
spring thing that could be like bigger or smaller could be kind of cool.
then
That
you
would work
could
in
get
like
into an issue where like there's pressure being applied to the back of a card or
true.
something, right? That could create another marking. So
We'll put a I mean, if it has like a wide enough surface area, it should be fine. Or put like
maybe
one of those
so.
dividers in front of it or something. But yeah, I mean, maybe there's something there with like slim deck boxes.
Yeah.
Um, For
I
anyone who
think
doesn't know what
overall,
those are like deck boxes where like only fits 60 sleeved cards. Basically, it doesn't fit anything else.
yeah, if you're ever picking any up, my boy Hegster is tweeting
Yeah,
about selling them all the time. So shout
yeah,
outs to Hegster. He's got your hookup on
yeah.
Japanese slim deck boxes. Um, Yeah, I think the idea of, like, buying regionals copies versus locals copies is a little silly for sure, but, I mean, I can understand, like, we're at a point now where it's like people feel like they've invest a lot in the game, they've invest a lot
Yeah.
to get to this point, and you have a good deep tournament run, it would really suck to have it cut short, but ultimately, like, I don't think it's unreasonable after seeing this card here. Like, I mean, I think you can it doesn't look it's not like crazy, right? It's not like crazy warped, but you can look at this and say like there's something going on here, right? This is a card that is definitely been loved and played, maybe this is one that I don't know, that it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. So,
It's not crazy warp, but like I said, you have to like put it against every card again. You have to like because like the way they usually do it, I don't know if they've changed their protocols, but they'll like take that card, take like 9 random cards from the deck, and they'll like lay them out, and then they'll ask someone who hasn't seen them before, "Yo, can you pick out a card?" And
yeah.
if they can, and then they ask someone else, "Yo, pick out a card," and then they try and repeat it, and if people can keep picking out the Fez, like something about it makes it sit weird compared to the other cards or something like that. I'm assuming that's the protocol they've went through. That's usually what I've heard them do or seen them do even, heard them do in the past. Um, so I mean if they were able to, they were able to, right? It's like really hard to like this isn't very good evidence of anything in my opinion. It really has to be like the whole process has to be done. And maybe they did make a mistake this time around. Like maybe the judges did it incorrectly, right? Like maybe there shouldn't have been the DQ that happened, but um this isn't like enough to sway me personally into all of a sudden thinking that he was abhorrently disqualified.
Sure. All right, well, let's keep it moving here in the lineup of our episode this week, and we're gonna do good old City League watch. We're gonna hop over to Limitless and take a look at some of the City League events that have been happening in Japan with the new Inferno X expansion, and see what's kind of been doing well over there. Now, Inferno X has been legal for what, like 3 weeks at this point, something like that. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, somewhere around there. So they've had more of a chance to experiment with the cards, think about what's good, and have a meta kind of develop. So, yeah, we just want to pop in and see where things are at. First thing I'm seeing is a decent bit of Golden Go stuff here, Golden Go Soul Rock, but also there's a couple people here with Golden Go Lopunny decks.
Yeah, I was actually now I'm is this even gonna be is there even gonna be a Champions League in this format? They're getting a new set before Champions League, I'm pretty sure. Upcoming Champions League.
Yeah, I think
Have a
I
November
guess
set,
not,
right?
but this is like a mini set for them, isn't
That's
it? It's
true.
like
This is true, yeah.
it's not like a full on set release. So I don't know how often like those mini sets end up getting Champions League events.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to that Golden Go Lopunny because Lopunny is an interesting inclusion. I think I saw Austin Charles, a Golden Go enjoyer over on Twitter talking about the Lopunny inclusion there. He actually played a 1/1 Lucario in this deck for one of the same reasons you'd want to include the Lopunny is because it KOs Cornerstone Mask Ogrepon uh, really conveniently, which is like something the deck in the past, and especially right now, does not have a great answer. Very convenient answer. Like I said, Austin was playing the 1/1 Lucario at Milwaukee to deal with Cornerstones. Um, so the Lopunny will be a good inclusion for that. And it's also just like a good card, right? It's just like a lot of HP, hits hard enough to like have an impact, but it's not good. Like it needs to be backed up by something. And in this build, it's got the Golden Go, which will be able to KO everything else that Lopunny can't.
I mean, you know what this card does as well. It's like really good whenever you're getting Ionoed to one
Yep. You just
or
need boss KO
two, and
Fez.
you just need boss to KO Fez to win the game. There's three boss.
Yeah.
There's Arvin's for count for prime catcher as the A spec,
Good
right?
closer.
So it's not like I mean it's got 330 HP. You also with like the two Turos in this list, you can make I mean, we talk about single prize board states a lot, right? But maybe one three prizer and a bunch of single prizers is just as strong of a board state, right? Because Law
Yeah.
Putty's not going anywhere, right? It's not getting knocked out by unless you're hitting it for weakness anytime soon. So And then you can always Turo that fella out of there and get some golden goes in play and go from there. So I actually think this is a really, really cool inclusion to see the Lopunny making its way into the golden go decks. Because I mean, similar to like Joltik Toolbox, one of the weaknesses of that deck was closing out games. And so we saw people cram golden goes into the Joltik box, right, to give some more draw power. And then that's a way you can like close out the game and have another big attacking option. Well, sometimes the way golden go struggles to close out games is by needing just too much to get through a high HP Pokemon at the end of the game. Now, if you can just Boss's Orders or Arvin for Prime Catcher to close things out, that seems pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of that, speaking of Lopunny in general, let's just click on the Lopunny, like do the thing. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that this feature exists. So we can just look at what else people are running Lop. So a lot of Lopunny
Ooh,
Golden Go.
look at this.
So this is actually just go first, Poison Petron, or you got the Badoo when you go second with a Mochi. Some early game cheese knockouts, and then you hope Lopunny will be able to get the rest of your prize cards after that.
Wait, this deck, what is there something here with like Lopunny, Petrarunt, Eviltal to just like use Eviltal to cycle the Lopunny's damage every turn?
I I mean, you have that set up currently in this build,
Oh,
right?
sure, with Latias in play, right?
Yeah. Or all the energy. You have energy too, so you can like hard retreat a Petch off the bench, something like
It
that.
looks like it's also made its way into some Charizard decks, another deck that struggles with Cornerstone. So is like Lopunny just like the new vanilla Cornerstone answer across the board?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like there's right. It seems pretty good. Also, it attacks for one colorless energy, so I see there's 3 mist in this build. I'm a pretty big fan of mist energy myself, so you can put that on Lopunny, which I guess lines up into Absol pretty well to stop the Absol's first attack from knocking you out. I don't know how relevant that is in their metagame, but that's like the big thing I can think of for like them having the mist on the Lopunny specifically. But yeah, it might just be the do it all answer that these decks were kind of missing.
I'm really liking the way the format is going. Like I'm just thinking about like even in the future with a rotation, right? When Iono leaves. Now we will probably get some form of hand disruption in the mix, right?
Dude, if
Hopefully.
we don't, that'll be kinda that'll be
But
bad.
I am excited for this like Lily's Dawn engine that we might have coming up here. Like I think Dawn is a super cool card and I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be a much more like long game setup based style of Pokemon that we haven't seen
Yeah.
in, a long time. So it's kind of it's got me kind of hyped to be honest.
They better give us some kind of hand disruption because, like, relying on like, Noctowl decks would be broken if we have no Noctowl will still be legal, right? I'm not like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, Noctowl will be broken if we have 0 hand disruption. So it's like the one deck, like, I'm, like, thinking about the idea of no hand disruption existing, like, what are we gonna play, Judge? Does Noctowl really care if we get Judged? Like, not as much as a Iono to 1 or 2 late game, right? Or just the fact that you can more often disrupt the hand because you're playing just a good card like Iono, or hopefully whatever else they reprint or print as a hand disruption card. Um, and then you can disrupt Noctowl hands more aggressively because that's like the one deck that would like thrive very much. Not even one deck, could be many decks, but Noctowl decks in general would love it if. Well, they would love it. I don't know if any of the player base would love it. Even if you're a Noctowl player, do you really love it if Iono doesn't exist in a format where we have no hand disruption? I'm not sure.
My Noctowl deck got so much better, but at what cost?
Yeah. From there, so one of the poison builds. We could check out the. I see there's one of the Charizard XEX decks with the Lopunny, which it is just like that one of. But we could just see if anyone's doing anything with Charizard XEX besides stuff like this, because this is definitely like a really boring way to play Charizard XEX, to be honest.
Yeah, so I mean, just scrolling here and seeing the decks that have won, there are a couple Charizard XCX, but when you click on these winning lists that have it here, it's for the most part
So one of.
just a one of Charizard X Mega Charizard XEX included into just like a more standard
Oh, I
Charizard
guess
EX deck.
Charizard XEX doesn't have an ability, so it is kind of your cornerstone answer as well. It's a really expensive cornerstone answer though, because you can leave yourself in a situation where you can't attack on your next turn. Um,
Well, it's like, well, it's your cornerstone answer, but it's also a closer. But I guess at the same time, like, isn't Charizard EX just like a broken closer as well?
Charizard XEX.
No,
I mean,
just regular Charizard EX
oh yeah,
is
yeah,
like,
yeah. It's like
you
yeah,
know,
closer, yeah. So it's like Charizard XEX in here is just kind of sad. It's just sad the way that people are playing Charizard XEX currently. Not yeah, not not great. Don't love it.
Yeah, no, don't time me out or anything, but, like, I am, just thinking through the future of the game here, rotations, future formats, and stuff like that, but, obviously, like, it seems like, I don't know, this card is still just insane, Charizard EX,
Yeah, yeah.
but I feel like this is, like, I don't know, we're gearing up. It'll be just really interesting to see kind of how things shape up
With
after
rotation.
rotation, after we lose so many of these powerful cards.
Yeah.
Pidgeot EX goes as well, Gardevoir, obviously, Arven. These things are gonna change up quite a bit.
Yeah, how many sets do we have left? We have Phantasmal Flames, it's gonna be a pretty small set, the January set, and then the rotation set, right? So 3 sets, 2 of them are gonna be a little bit smaller, probably less impactful with Phantasmal Flames, and then the January special set, whatever that ends up being.
Yeah, and it could be even like a reprint. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a reprint set, right? Because it's early Mega Evolution. So no, never mind.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, I guess it could be a more high impact it's gonna be some kind of special set, though, so it's not like a main set, but it could be a pretty high impactful one, I guess. Now that you mentioned that, it's not gonna be probably a reprint set, but it'll be like a smaller
Oh.
set, like, not too much oh.
Got excited. I saw Noctowl Mega Charizard, but it's just regular Charizard with
4
a
Dawn.
Mega Charizard. Yeah, 4 Dawn,
That's
2
cool.
Wellspring Mask. This is like a deck that's popped up a little bit over here. This is a very interesting build, though, with the
This
101
is
Pidgeot.
yeah, these are the decks where I think Dawn will be strongest. It'll be Noctowl decks with stage 2s, which the best stage 2s to play in Noctowl are probably Pidgeot and Charizard. You don't need to play both of them, but even like Noctowl decks with Pidgeot become way stronger with the release of Dawn. You can just do so much off of a Dawn in a Noctowl deck when you can like pair it with another powerful trainer for the situation, stuff like that.
Looks like quite a few Dragapult decks still kind of hanging around. Also, Gardevoir, no surprise. I don't really think. I mean, I guess the interesting thing to look at here would be like what if they're playing a Mega Pokemon. Mega Nancy does look like it's still kind of hanging around here as a choice.
Yeah.
No Mega Gardevoir EX. I do wonder if we will start to see Mega Gardevoir EX make its way into our format a little bit. Um, as like a way to one hit KO opposing Mega Pokemon, but it seems like a lot of the Gardevoir players aren't that worried about the Mega Kangaskhan, Mega Absol deck, right? So maybe it's not worth having that piece.
Yeah. It doesn't seem as concerned. The matchup seems like pretty close. But I'm actually really curious to see because I feel like once you like guard like, and I say this all the time, like learning an archetype, you don't need to know your exact 60 and like be super comfortable with your exact 60. You need to be comfortable with an archetype first. And that's just the one thing we see for sure is like Garver players, even like a week difference of tournaments will pretty dramatically change their builds based on what did really well when Gardevoir the tournament before. So I'm curious to see what builds of Gardevoir succeed specifically at Lil. Not even just what generally people are playing, but is going to be jelly versus no jelly, or are people going to try out some of the stuff that Gustavo used to win down in Brazil. Because yeah, there's like a lot of different things to play in Gardevoir right now. So definitely gonna be curious to see the route that people end up taking in Lil. But yeah, there's like I mean, like you said, Mega Gardevoir still seems good. We don't have Mega Diancie right now, and and it definitely could be one of those things where this was the only time to play Mega Diancie was this format. I mean, they're still playing it over there in Japan, with Phantasmal Flames, but we'll have to see how good it is once we get Phantasmal Flames.
Look at just some of the Dragapults real quick. Just kind of, yep, it is
One Dawn.
Dragapult. So
I wonder if
there-
like they were playing one. I feel like Dawn might just be. Could you play like they were playing 4 Dawn in a Dragon Ball deck? Maybe it's too much. Seems
yeah,
really
they've
good
got
though.
one Dawn, one Brock scouting here.
Can Dawn
Maybe just like
find
the
rule box Pokemon, or is it only non-rule box? Actually,
yes,
okay, yeah.
yes.
So you could get like Fez Dustin or whatever Dracloak or something on a turn.
Maybe in this deck, it's just more valuable to like get
Or a
Dracloaks
Lily.
specifically. Like you're not having as hard of a time because like Dawn for a basic is a little bit less valuable if you
And
have
Brock's
three
for
Dreepy
2.
in play already, right?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
I don't know. I guess it's still probably pretty good. It's also not that good turn one, right? Dawn for a stage one and a stage two, and just one basic is pretty bad, and your opponent can just
Yeah.
Iono you. You know.
Getting but still getting like a Dracloak for the next turn isn't terrible. So that's like one of your biggest pieces. You also need some other Droopies to go with it though, for sure.
I want to see what this Sarah Ledge deck has, and it looks like a
Sarah Ledge deck.
pretty normal deck. Nothing special there. I do think I
Nothing
would
new.
actually switch and play 80 HP Charcadex. I think having 70 HP is actually kind of bad right now. Soul Rock KOs you. It's easier for Dragon Bolt to pick you off on the bench. So I think even though it's got like 2 retreat, I'd be playing 80 HP Charcadex right now. And it doesn't KO Badoo, but it honestly like very rarely comes up that you can't just like evolve into Sarah GX to KO the Badoo.
Yeah, because there's like no Badoos right now. It's really just Poltnor that ever played it, to be honest. And Poltnor just isn't that popular because the deck is
Yeah.
just like a fine play right now. It's another good deck in the format. But it feels really good to see one of like kind of the, I don't know, the top dogs take a back seat. Not necessarily a back seat, but like not a deck you have to beat anymore. It feels like, which is kind of cool. It seems like that's still true in this format.
Ice cream cone
Ooh.
spotted, Azul.
There it is. I mean, these are some big Pokemon, right? The Mega Kangaskhan, Mega Absol, they're hard to take down in a single hit. Not many decks can do it. And honestly, you already talking about like rotation a little bit. We're losing stuff like Golden Go, like Sarilege.
No.
Charizard XCX doesn't seem that good. That does one hit KO stuff. There's less one hit KO Pokemon. What is the other one? The Golden Go. There's another one that
Raging
rotates.
Bolt.
Raging Bolt, right? Raging Bolt and
Oh,
Golden Go. Wait, no, Raging Bolt
I
doesn't
don't
rotate.
think
We just lose
Raging Bolt
Sada.
rotates. Yeah, it doesn't
We lose
rotate.
Sada though, so I don't know if you'll be able to hit the numbers without Sada. Maybe you can. Probably not.
Nah.
But Jumbo Ice Cream actually is like if we're not in a one hit format. Also, dude, I mean, Jumbo Ice Cream becomes a really good card, but also Monkey Dory becomes that much better as well. If you're not getting
Yeah.
one hit KO'd, awesome. Let's go.
Turbo Energize does rotate as well. So, like, your ways to effectively power these Pokemon up
Oh, I
do
didn't even realize that.
decrease. Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's finally having its moment, really. Just in the last 6 months. Turbo Energize, it was like always a bulk card, pretty much, basically never played except in Iron
Whoa, that's what
Thorns,
I'm saying. The
right?
disrespect to the Thorns.
I mean, that is a world champion deck, so
Yeah,
can't
come on
disrespect
now.
it too much.
Yeah, definitely
Um,
one of the weaker, not the weakest TM, but one of the weaker
Dude,
TMs.
technical machine fluorite just has to take the cake there, or blindside. Couple of
Blindside is like the deck that like always it seems that has potential. People talk about Blindside, like have talked about Blindside so many times with like set releases. It never really happens though.
couple of Alakazam decks here, and this is probably the deck that uses Dawn the best of any archetype.
Yeah,
And
it's pretty
also
good.
does get a boost as well with Wonder Patch because you can Wonder Patch an energy into play and then use enriching energy to like get extra draw. I don't even know what this card does. Is this card in the deck?
Uh
Meddling Memo. Your opponent counts the cards in their hand, shuffles those cards, and puts
wait,
them on the bottom of their deck. If they do, they draw that many cards.
check City League results. Is this being played in like for some reason? Yeah, is this being played in like a lot of Alakazam decks? I feel like I've been seeing this in yeah.
So what's the reasoning?
I don't know. I was just like remembered that. I was like, wait, I think this is being played in like Alakazam in like almost as like a staple. I don't. Does the deck mulligan a lot? No, that wouldn't even make a difference. Oh, maybe it's just because you don't play hand disruption, so it's like and you can't afford to play Iono, so it's like a form of hand disruption, kind of,
They're
right?
also
Like
playing Xerosix.
maybe is that being played in a couple, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
it's a combo, Zerosix Meddling Memo combo. So it's like effective hand disruption. They only keep their good cards. The good cards go to the bottom of the deck. That's all I can think of. Even the Meddling Memo on its own, because like yeah, because you can't hand disrupt them, so they're just gonna continually accrue good cards, and then you push all the good cards to the bottom of the deck. So that has to be it, I guess.
Interesting.
Two enhanced hammers for the mist energy.
That is funny.
We did see that Charizard list out there that had 3 mist energies, so they're prepared for the Alakazam matchup.
Yeah, they've got more mist energies than they have hammers. And here's a Cynthia Garchomp build.
Does have the new stadium in there, but that's kind of it for the new cards. I was actually curious. Click on the stadium. Let's just see what what decks are really playing this. It looked like it was
So
in the
Battle
Charizards.
Coliseum prevent all damage done or damage counters from being placed on benched Pokemon by effects of attacks and abilities. So an answer to a few things in the format, but namely Dragapult, namely Dusknoir, and also Monkey Dory.
Yeah, so very powerful stadium. Of course, the question is like, how many you have to play to make it stick? Every deck plays stadiums right now. Honestly, it is one of those things where every deck is playing stadiums, but it doesn't feel like a stadium war format where it's like the Path to the Peak, right? There's no real stadium being played right now where it's like everyone's aggressively thinking about increasing their count of stadiums. Everyone just kind of plays their own stadiums to help them set up like Artisan, or it's like I'm gonna play Jamming Tower in my Sarah Ledge to help against Guardvor, right? But it's like all this like on the turn I play it, I'm getting high value out of it type stadiums. It's not a I'm trying to keep the stadium and play the whole game stadium format, but there is a lot of stadiums in the format. I guess the only stadium you could make that argument for is probably Lively Stadium, but we even looked at the last Absol list we just looked at wasn't even playing the Lively Stadium anymore, and that's what we saw from Gabriel Fernandez build as well. No Lively Stadium, just had the town store. So I don't even know where Absol players are at right now with that. To be honest, I'm not sure what they're running.
It looks like here's I want to look at where did it go? There was a Mega Kang Monkey Dory deck here. Tank Kang here.
Yeah.
This one's playing 3 of the ice pop or
Why not
the ice
4?
cream
What like,
cone.
if we're playing 3 and the card obviously has that high of a potential impact, why is there not 4 in there? Maybe 3 plus a Monkey Dory off heals enough for or like 1 plus a Monkey Dory heals enough often enough. Can we get 4 in here though? Like, what are we doing? Come on. More jumbo ice creams. Also, especially after commentating and watching a lot of games at Milwaukee, dude, it feels like Lively Stadium was good and had potential for high impact, but like the count of 2 just seems too low. Like the players like almost never found it, or when they found it, it like got countered immediately. I feel like you need a more aggressive count of Lively Stadium to really get that value out of it. Otherwise, it just kind of seems like a an very unlikely like game winner for you. Like the HP just not going to make a difference in the long run, almost ever. It kind of seemed like.
Any other of these decks you wanna take a look at, Azul? There is a Rocket's Mewtwo here. Wonder Patch? No Wonder
What?
Patch.
E-Switch? It has 2 E-Switch? There's no Wonder Patch? What are we doing? There's no way. Wait, does Wonder Patch only accelerate psychic energy? It
They're
does, right?
playing a Lily's Clefairy.
Dude, this is criminal, man. Like, what is the come on.
The neutralization zone as the ace spec is pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is cool. Play it. I mean, Spite Ops is the best card in the deck. Best attacker, best yeah. Best attacker is your best everything for sure. So yeah, Spite Ops is the best card in the deck by far. Best Pokemon. So I don't hate the neutralization zone.
And then we've got this. Tyranitar Dracloak.
Yeah, we've seen this before though. This is not the first time we've seen this actually.
This is the first time I've seen it.
Really? I thought we saw this together.
That's possible. I probably wrote it off immediately after
Yeah.
seeing it. Pushed it
Well,
out of
this
my
is I was like,
brain.
this is it has reversals energy in it as well, right?
Yes. Oh, okay. It's a deck. It's a deck.
Yeah, yeah.
All
I've seen
right.
this
Well,
before. The Dunsparce build has to be terrible because the Dunsparce sucks. But I like the Dracloak build for sure. It's cool.
that's interesting. I guess I was gonna say we saw it, and then it did. No one played it at all over the summer. But there was no city leagues over the summer.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. All right. Well, any other cards you want to look at while we are on this, or are we
I mean,
ready to
let's just check the Hydreigon list at the top. Hydreigon Noctowl. This is that grass build people have been playing.
Carmine?
That's it. That's all I wanted to see. We can get out of here now. Right now, Chip's intrigued. He's like, you don't
Yeah.
say.
There's only like 2 energy switch. That's what I'm intrigued by.
Only need one to get to the
It's
attack.
just
The
about
obsidian.
getting to a obsidian, I
Yep,
guess, right?
that's
Okay.
it.
So instead of counter gain, interesting.
Carmines feels so weird in here to not play a Squawkabilly though. Like, well, I guess you don't have the bench space because you're not playing Area Zero, but you could. But like, it's like, are you just choosing first and then hoping to find a Carmine? That's got to be that's whack. There's no way.
You got draw power though.
Oh yeah, sick man.
All right. Well, that is it for City League Watch this week. We may not do it again the rest of this format because Infernal, Phantasmal Flames is just kind of around the corner. But yeah, always interested to see kind of what's happening over there. And those results do have a little bit of an impact on our early metagame for sure. So on what people think seems good. Well, let's move on to good old Guess That Flavor Text. But before we do, we got to take a moment to thank our fantastic sponsor, Dragon Shield, for supporting us here at the Uncommon Energy Podcast. Of course, Dragon Shield makes some of the best card gaming and tabletop gaming products on the market, and they all don't come from the same factory as every other sleeve manufacturer. So Big shout outs to Dragon Shield for making high quality sleeves. We love them for the mats, and they've also got other options though with the classics and the dual mats. And if you want to know which colors we enjoy, Azul and I both are always a fan of the classic blacks. What have you been rocking recently, Azul?
Recently, well, nothing because I haven't been playing in anything recently, so I haven't been rocking any of 'em. But I do have go-tos. I do have my go-to colors, the magentas. Honestly, for a long time, the magentas, also the yellows of ones that I've used for quite a while. I know those are also towards go-tos, I believe, are the Dragon Shield yellows, but magentas,
Yeah.
tangerines, and then oh, the blood reds. That was the one. I was like trying to think of like that last one, the blood reds. Those are always my go-tos. And you'll catch me rocking yellows or magentas at the next tournament I play in for sure.
Big thanks as always to Dragon Shield for supporting us. And if you want to support us a little extra, you can and pick yourself up some awesome sleeves. You can click the link in our description. Use our code UEPOD, get yourself 5% off, and also directly support us. Thanks as always to Dragon Shield for supporting us.
Yeah, appreciate it. Up next, guess that flavor text. This week, Chip picked a card and is going to read the flavor text on it. Then I have to try and guess which Pokemon and card the flavor text belongs to. If I get it right without using a lifeline, like I did a couple weeks ago, almost like a month ago now, actually, I'll get 4 points for each lifeline I use. I'll get one less point. The lifelines are what's that the card is from, what stage the card is, and then read an attack name. And Chip, I'm ready to take the lead this week.
Yes, it is currently 38 me to 37 Azul. So, with even just a 2 point score here, Azul could take the lead for the first time since early on in the podcast. He did have a lead at one point for a while. Looks like
Yeah.
it was all the way back at episode 53. He had an 8-7 lead, and then I tied it up with a correct Whooper guess. And then 2 weeks later, got a 4 point Indeedee guess, it looks like in episode 56. So,
Yeah, stuff went downhill pretty quick from there.
all right. You are ready, Azul?
I'm ready.
Here we go. It has a body and heart of steel. It worked with its allies to punish people when they hurt Pokemon.
Hmm. I feel like this could be like Aegislash. Doesn't Aegis have something to do with the heart? For some reason I think like that means heart in like some other language or something like that. So it could be Aegislash. I don't know why I know that. Something to do with League of Legends, probably. Um, there's like something called the Aegis in League of Legends, an item, and it's shaped like a heart, I believe. I think that's literally where I'm coming from with this. All right, read it to me one more time.
It has a body and a heart of steel. It worked with its allies to punish people when they hurt Pokemon.
I think it kind of like fits like Aegislash as well. Kind of like I don't know. It could be Aegislash. I think we have to go a little bit further though. Let's go with what stage the card is because that can like help me pass this real quick.
It is a basic
What is the basic of Aegislash?
Honedge.
Okay. All right. Read it to me again. It's definitely not Honedge, I don't think.
It has a body and a heart of steel. It worked with its allies to punish people when they
Oh,
hurt Pokemon.
Cobalion. Yeah, I'm gonna lock in. I could go. No, lock in Cobalion. Lock in Cobalion. Let's go with it.
Interesting. Just locking something in right
Yeah,
away.
sure. Let's go with Cobalion.
All right. Well, let me read the other lifelines here for what set the card is from. It is from Sun and Moon, Lost Thunder.
I have no clue. There's a Cobalion in there.
And for read an attack name of Metal Arms.
It's probably not Cobalion.
Azul. It is Cobalion.
Oh, let's go,
Dude, I was hoping you were
yes.
gonna ask for the attack, and Metal Arms was gonna throw you off of this. But how
Yeah,
the heck did you get to Cobalion? What?
because it has
Where
allies.
did
It's
where did
Rakian
that
and
come from?
it's the like one of the ally Pokemon. And like I
But
once at
why do
first
you know that?
because all of their attacks and abilities on the Pokemon are like ally based. They're literally one of the abilities that they all have is something allies. I'm pretty sure there's a set of them from they all do like 30 more damage to dark Pokemon. It's like something allies. But
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
at first I was thinking about like it with its trainer, but then once you read it again, I was like, oh no, it's with other Pokemon. I was like, wait, what Pokemon band together? And it didn't say it said with allies, and it's not like they. It didn't say it like they like as like a group of them. So I was like, oh, it's a Pokemon with other Pokemon. I was like, oh wait, that's Terrakion. It's like the Terrakion Cobalion Verzian guys.
Buddy, where's this ally ability you're talking about?
Justify, dude. Maybe I don't know where I'm getting it from then.
It's probably this card
Yeah,
because
that's
this
the one
is
I'm
like
thinking of with the
from
Justified. Do the other ones have? Like, I know they're like a trio. I know they're like a thing.
they are
Do
a
the other
trio
ones
and they
have like a ally type attack name? I know they're like a trio. Maybe I'm trolling with the ally thing in the other names.
I don't know them to be called the ally Pokemon.
Well, I know that they're like allies to each other, like they're a squad.
Yeah. But it's like yeah,
I thought one of
you
them
just like made that up and it was
had
correct.
like abilities or attacks where it's like something allies or allies. Are you sure? It
Dude,
might
this
not
is
be
all the
Cobalion.
Cobalion
It might
cards.
be one of the other ones that has it though.
Oh, you might be thinking of Keldeo because Keldeo is like the leader or whatever, I think, in lore. So I don't know exactly, but like there's
Mm,
Keldeos that do stuff if all the other guys are in play. 4 as 1. If Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion are on your bench, this attack does 170
maybe.
more damage.
Oh. Oh, that's
That is
important.
honestly criminal that you just pulled that out of nowhere, like, and
Dude,
didn't use like the fact that because like the other lifeline you probably would have used would have been attack, and I would have given you metal arms, and it would have thrown you off of Cobalion, like for
yeah.
sure.
I don't even know what I would have guessed. Metagross? Like,
Oh my god. Yeah, the basic Pokemon Metagross, genius
oh
Azul.
yeah, I guess that wouldn't happen. Does Bellum even have arms?
No, he's got like toes.
All right, so I wouldn't have guessed Bellum. I don't even know what I would have guessed at that point, to be honest.
He's got these little look at these little toes.
Those
Little
nubs.
little golden toes.
Yeah, like it's like a claw. Is he like grab stuff with that, or is he like connect to something with that?
Well, look,
Is it?
it's like you get
Is that like one of Metagross's arms?
yes. See? There's
Oh,
Metang.
then they
There's
become the
that's the
grabbers.
Beldum right there, and then the Metagross. Yep, there you go.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah, but he's not. Metagross isn't like combination of four Beldums, is it? Or
No,
just this?
but it's like
Okay.
he's grown up,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess.
He starts out as
Actually, I don't
an
know. Maybe it
arm.
is. I don't know how it works. Does a Metang do
Is
two
that two
Beldums
Beldums?
mashed together become a Metang, and then two
Yeah.
Metangs mashed together to become a Metagross? I don't know. I've never seen it happen.
Yeah. Uh, let's read
Wow,
the
I
flavor text.
cannot believe you have the lead.
Let's go. Insane dub. I'm up to what? 40 points. You're at 38. All right, you can come back next week. You could. You could come back next week.
I plan to. I'm going to read every single flavor text that's ever existed.
Even if you did that, there's no way you'd be able to like store all of that information in your head to actually
Don't
utilize.
you
All
underestimate
right, my
me.
bad. All right, well, we got a big tournament coming up this weekend. We talked about it earlier. I was like thinking about going. Chip was thinking about going too, but then he remembered he has
Well,
two kids, so
yeah,
he's obviously not going to be able to go. But it
there's
is going down.
there's a difference between wanting to go and practically being able to go.
Yeah, yeah. You did
Like,
want to go.
yeah. Yeah. So I guess Azul, why don't you just start this off by talking about why you were really last second considering booking a trip to go all the way to France to play Pokemon this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same reason I want to play in Milwaukee. I just think Charizard's really good right now. I like the idea of playing Charizard. I have like ideas about what I would play with Charizard, want to include in Charizard as well. So yeah, it's like one of those things where it's just like I have a deck that I want to play, kind of deal.
Are you
I
gonna
don't know if
like
Charizard's
kind of
like the BD, and I'm not saying like Charizard's the best play for the tournament, but I think it's like as good as basically anything else in terms of just like play a good deck well. Charizard fits that description pretty well. So yeah,
you gonna
one of the
keep
tournaments
everything
where
oh sorry.
one of those tournaments where I wish I was going for sure.
Are you gonna keep everything close to the vest just in case, you know, things don't really change that much and then Vegas Regionals comes around and it's like boom, Charizard still seems really good in your mind?
No, I mean there's nothing too crazy about what I would what I would play. It would just be, I mean, I wouldn't play Dustnor. I think Dustnor's fine. It could be the better way to play the deck, but I just wouldn't play Dustnor. And then just not, yeah, just
Mhm.
not a fan of Dustnor in the deck. Just don't like the way
Pretty
the deck
different from
plays.
Jackson's deck, it sounds like.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely different than Jackson. I don't know if I'd play Monkey Dory or not. I think you keep the Psyduck because you want it for the Charizard Mirror on top of Poltnor, giving you a chance against Poltnor as well. So
Dude, do you know what the new tech is in the decks that play Psyduck?
what?
Well, what do people have to answer Psyduck?
Oh, you play the Golduck?
You play the
Which
Golduck,
can't.
so Klefki doesn't shut down Psyduck.
I don't think that's worth it, but yes, you could do that. I do not think it's worth it. I think if they really want to get the whole Klefki thing cooking on a turn, they can go ahead and do it. We're probably good enough. Especially because like the getting Klefki to work in Poltnor is like almost impossible. Like you have to switch to like a whole different build of the deck. Like it's an Arvin build with like air balloons and switches, or you have to play like your deck just gets bad. They're playing like 3 dead cards, 2 switch and a Klefki or something like that. Like, yeah, I can beat you. If that's what your list looks like, I think I can beat you without the gold duck. But yeah, if you want to go a step further, get the other duck involved.
Well, let's take a look at some of the meta of online tournaments that have taken place since the conclusion of the Milwaukee Regional Championships. Now, obviously, not a perfect indicator for how things will look in
Yeah.
Lille, but general idea of where the player base is at. And Mega Absol Kangaskhan is the number one deck right now.
Yeah, number one deck overall. I don't think that'll be true in Lil though. Like I don't think it'll be the most popular deck. I could see it being the most successful deck though. That one it shocked me. Deck seems really really good. I still have yet to play with it. Going to be doing that today. Getting back to streaming today as this episode releases. Um, that'll be the plan is to try out that deck for sure. And also, dude, he's on a roll right now. Tim Danklin with the Baby Ursaluna deck. I haven't seen a lot of people enjoying that for sure. So I'm gonna give that deck a try as well. There's gonna be like the 2 priorities for me on stream today. Mega Absol, probably Gabriel's list because I'm more intrigued by Gabriel's list than the Tord list. And then Tim Danklin's Baby Ursaluna deck. Been cooking. He's been cooking big time. So I don't know how competitive that deck is, but I'm gonna have a better idea of how I feel about Mega Absol after this. But definitely, yeah, it's good. It's a good deck. I don't think it'll be the most popular deck. I think Guardy's still gonna probably be that. Well, if you like combine the Guardy builds together, it'll be Guardy. But
Yeah, big shout outs to Tim Danklin, who is killing it in the competitive YouTube content space. Like I think he is probably like one. I mean, I don't know. He's maybe adequately appreciated, but it's like it's just going to continue to go up and up for him. He is killing it over on YouTube, and happy to see it happen. And we need more people just making great Pokemon TCG content, and he's definitely making it happen, which is cool to
yeah,
see.
for sure. And he's like making the content that is like missing as well. He's not just doing um yeah, he's making the kind
He's
of
paving
YouTube.
his own road. You know,
Yeah.
he's not just doing something that other people are already doing.
Yeah, hopefully, I don't know if he does this full time or not. To be honest, I'm actually not sure if he has like a 9 to 5. I hope that if he wants to be able to do it full time at some point, he's able to, because it'd be great to have him doing it full time in the future. But I'm not sure where he's at with that. So yeah, it's really sick to see. Y'all should go check out his channel for sure. Just I think it's just at Tim Danklin on YouTube. Check out the new Ursaluna video of his with the baby Ursaluna deck.
Definitely. One thing to note, I think, from this is that, kind of early on in this format, 2 decks leading the charge, Ledge and Grimmsnarl, both have kind of fallen down the ranks here a little bit.
Yeah, Sarah Legend Grimmsnarl down quite a bit, and honestly, like Sarah Ledge is a deck that I still think is really good, but it's like it's just one of those decks where it's like I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. I don't think I am. I don't think I am missing something. I think the deck is still really, really good. People just aren't playing it, which is like fine. Like, right? Like people should play what they want to play, but
It's just not the type of deck that the best players like to play.
yeah. But when we look at online tournament results, that is like not the majority of players. But people it's not like the cool new deck either. Also, it gets boring fast, right? Like if you're gonna be playing in an online tournament, why would you play Sarah Ledge when Charizard's good again, and there's the new Mega Absol deck, and there's a million builds of Gardevoir to try out, like, or you could play Sarah Ledge, which was like cool for the first couple weeks because it's like the new build of Sarah Ledge with Soul Rock and Lunatone, but now it's just kind of lame, like in comparison to what else you could be playing, to be honest. So I get that. I think we can definitely see it perform pretty well at Lil. I wouldn't be surprised to see Sarah Ledge even take the whole thing down at all. Grimsnarl, I still just am not a huge fan of Grimsnarl personally, but I was gonna say I don't even know if the metagame is getting better for it because I don't know how its Mega Absol matchup is, to be honest. I don't even know if it has a good or a bad Mega Absol matchup. So that's like the big question mark for me that I'm unsure of. But the deck was like fine for Milwaukee, I think. It wasn't anything crazy good. And as long as it's Mega Absol matchup, even if it's like slightly unfavored, it'll still probably be fine for Lil. But I don't expect a ton out of it. I'm just underwhelmed by Grimmsnarl overall. Um, this format specifically. It is weird because I feel like a lot of people's, and maybe there's just something I'm missing having not played with the deck at all. I feel like people's the sentiment around the deck is that it's definitely better than I'm giving it credit for, like in the community in general. Now, is the community right or am I right? I don't know, but yeah, maybe I am underrating Grimmsnarl a little bit here.
I think one other interesting aspect for this tournament is going to be how popular slash successful will the Mega Absol Kangaskhan deck be. Because even though Tord posted about it the week before Milwaukee, it was still kind of like the unknown, the secret deck. Like people knew about it, but it wasn't like a fully explored quantity, right? Now it's been out there for a couple weeks. People know what's up. People have had time to really kind of process and think about it, get their hands on the deck themselves. They've seen a couple of builds as well from, what Tord played versus what was successful down in Brazil. Um, is the deck something that was like a one tournament wonder and is going to just kind of steadily fall off throughout the course of this format? Or is it something that's really strong and going to have staying power?
I think it definitely has staying power because I think the deck has a lot of room. Like we saw how different Tord's build was to Gabriel's build, and we saw how successful both of them were, right? So the deck has a lot of room for different kind of core engine of the deck, as well as just like tech card inclusions, right? I feel like there's a lot you could actually play in the deck if you want to change things up quite a bit, or tech for certain matchups, or the metagame as it like shifts and changes. So yeah, I expect the deck seems pretty good. I think like to what you spoke on though, for sure, is its win rate will just be lower just because it's a known quantity now, a more known quantity. Because obviously, like the deck leaked before Milwaukee, but there wasn't as much time, right? So now, yeah, it's an overall win rate just will fall from what it was at Milwaukee, just because people know the deck more, they know how to play their matchups against it better. So, yeah, still good deck, I think for sure. I think it does have staying power in the format. I can't think of like a matchup that could get popular enough to kind of push it out of the metagame. Sarah Ledge would maybe be that deck, but Sarah Ledge doesn't look like it'll probably ever rise to the popularity that it'll be like it'll be impossible to play Mega Absol because it's so popular. I mean, that never stopped, I guess, Poltnor players anyways when Guard 4 was so popular, so who knows? Maybe the Mega Absol players will be just as stubborn.
I mean, it didn't ever stop Reggie Drago V Star players whenever Raging Bolt was really popular. It's the same type of thing, right?
That's a little bit different though, like, we always that's one
Well,
we come back
Raging
to
Bolt,
just
I
like
think that's more similar to this current situation than it
Sure.
is to
True, 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 true.
Dragapult and Gardevoir, right?
Yeah, definitely. No, that is a fair point. Yeah, where it's like the quality of player, the skill level of the player playing Sarah Ledge isn't gonna be as high. Just same thing with like Raging Ball versus Reggie Drago. Even when people were when Raging Ball was the most popular deck in the room, Reggie Drago was still succeeding because the skill gap, the skill difference, which is like a really cool thing to see. And that's like a positive thing for the game. It's like, oh, the deck that is favored against the um supposedly the best deck in the room is still losing to it. It's like, why? Well, so it's because all the best players are playing the deck that is unfavored in the matchup, but the skill difference is making up for that, which is something you want to see in the game.
What's going on with Golden Go right now? Ever since Worlds, it kind of feels like it's just been on like a pretty steady decline through the end of last format and into the beginning of this one. Like it was kind of touted as this deck that got these cool new toys. Didn't do the best in Milwaukee, and it's not been that popular online. It's obviously still powerful, right?
I kind of felt this way actually going into Milwaukee. I made a tier list video and I almost put Golden Go in tier 4, I believe. It was like S tier was Gardevoir, A tier was Charizard, Zoroark, and then B tier, I had a bunch of decks in there. Golden Go was one of them, and I almost put it into C tier. So I was like, Golden Go doesn't feel that good right now. And I think the results from Milwaukee spoke to that a little bit. And I think thinking about the deck right now, I still kind of feel that way. It's just like the jelly, like the Soul Rock Lunatone build feels unfavored against Jelly Guardy, and it feels like you might even just be unfavored against every build. Like none of the Golden Gold players are playing Tool Scrapper, so it's like you don't really want to play Tool Scrapper because you're going to lose to Jelly Guardy anyways. But if you play against non-Jelly Guardy and they have Bravery Charms without Tool Scrapper, you're probably going to lose to those Guardies. And then Charizard's a bad matchup. They all have the Chi Yu. Well, most of them have the Chi Yu. Then the Mega Absol
Except for
matchup
your friends
has
who all played
yeah.
Ho-Oh to the last tournament.
The Ho-Oh is a little. When I first saw the Ho-Oh, I was like, I don't know about this, but they did also play Cape. A Cape Ho-Oh is kind of cool, to be honest. It's pretty cool. But I think the Golden Goal players are not afraid of a Cape Ho-Oh. Like no Chi Yu makes things tough. Not having Chi Yu for that matchup is tough. But most people have Chi Yu in their Charizard deck. So yeah, I just don't see a reason to play Golden Go. Like, what is like if you play Golden Go with a Tool Scrapper, it's like okay, you're beating Guardies, the Braver Charm Guardies. You lose to Jelly Guardies. You're unfavored against Charizard. The Mega Absol deck, you lose to the Mega Absol deck. Unless you want to go the Austin Charles route, get the 1/1 Lucario in there, sure. But that's a lot of investment into the deck because you have to go a step further. You have to play the Ultra Ball, like, and even then, even once you like fix these bad matchups, the deck's still not that good. It's like not like you're playing a Gardevoir that you found the broken build of Gardevoir for the metagame. You're just playing Golden Go rocks, right? It's just the deck's just not that good right now. I think the deck's just pretty bad.
So why does it feel so much worse than Ledge?
Ledge. I mean, the bad matchups aren't bad matchups for Ledge, right? Charizard, I don't think is a bad matchup. Gardevoir Jelly isn't a bad matchup. So those are like the big ones. Ledge doesn't have bad matchups to fix. It's when you play Ledge, it's like can your opponent keep up with you for like basically every single matchup. So
Right.
Ledge puts your opponent on an aggressive clock, which I felt like Golden Go in the past kind of did, especially with like the Togekiss build. But now it's like the deck is so much more
Fair?
yeah, fair. Yeah, maybe that's the way to put it. Fair. Like the rocks are cool to include in the deck and definitely are good. But maybe the best build of Golden Go is to go back to that Energy Search Pro. I don't know. Energy Search Pro Togekiss might be the best way to play Golden Go right now. But even then, the deck seems like fine. I don't think it's like because yeah, like I said, Charizard, Mega Absol, Jelly Guardy. Like that's just tough. And those are top decks. Some of the best decks being played by some of the best players. Your expected success with Golden Go just doesn't seem very high right now.
I think an important question, Azul, that every Gardevoir player is asking themselves: to jelly or not to jelly?
And honestly, I would have to probably say no jelly because you want to keep up with this Absol deck, and it seems like the jelly build is worse for sure against Absol. You don't want to have to Rowan it every single match to beat the Mega Absol deck by using Mew to copy Kangaskhan and then hit two heads. That's only if it doesn't have a Bravery Charm or there's not a Lively Stadium in play. So the matchup seems pretty tough for the Jelly Guardy. I think you want to look at something like the Gustavo build or the Aban build with the Turbo Energize. You know, get the Enamorous set up aggressively. Just set up an aggressive attacker doing damage fast, or have a lot of one hit KO potential with something like what Gustavo played in Bella Horizonte. So yeah, I think Jelly is not great right now. It just seems worse than the non-jelly, I guess. But like, it's not bad. It's just like when we're comparing the two builds, it seems like non-jelly is better. But if jelly wins Lil, I wouldn't be surprised. To kind of put it in perspective for people.
And I think last question before we do predictions here. Give me your honest reaction to this tweet. Ian Robb says, "Is this weekend the best positioned Dragapult Dusknoir has been since last format?"
Um, wait, how many tournaments have happened since last format?
One.
One. Yes. I actually thought his tweet was way worse, and he was implying that it was a good play. But he's definitely trolling because Dragapult Dusknoir is still just not that good of a deck, unless every Gardevoir build does shift to the Aban build. But I don't think that's what's going to happen at all. Like everyone's playing 3 Candy no Evo in Gardevoir. Paltnor is looking all right. Okay, maybe there's something there. But no, I think Ian is. Yeah, I didn't realize how trolly this tweet was until I thought about it a little bit more. Yes, Paltnor is better positioned this week than it was for Milwaukee, but the deck still seems like a pretty mid, bad play if your goal is to win the tournament. If you're
I've
not trying to
just
win the tournament,
realized
you're probably fine.
I've just realized as well. I think we've lost our boy here. He put his Magic the Gathering
Oh
accomplishments
no.
before the Pokemon accomplishments in his Twitter bio.
Well, it is a bigger accomplishment to be honest. Well, 5 regional wins is maybe more impressive than the Pro Tour.
He
final
also
fantasy finals. But as an individual accomplishment, that is more impressive than a regional win. So
he also
I don't
has
hate
a
it.
he also has this NAIC second place.
True, that's just not in there. Well, you can only fit so much of each, right? They only have so much room in
Top 8
the.
at Worlds. Could have
Yeah, but you
been
can't fit everything. I feel like
4.
saying you're a 5-time regional champion is more impressive than saying world's top 8 or NAIC finalist. And then you need to get you need to get the magic achievement in there as well, right? Like you gotta. He is a dual card game specialist, so I
Do you
respect that.
list your accomplishments in your Twitter bio?
Nope.
No. I play a lot of the poker. When are you gonna change this header?
What do you mean when it's wrong?
Great answer. All right, Azul, let's make some predictions for the tournament this weekend. First up, which will finish higher, jelly or no jelly Gardevoir?
No jelly, I think. Yeah.
Jellyless Gardevoir. You got any other thoughts about what the list might look like? Enamorous or no enamorous?
Probably not Enamorous. I don't know how much that is caught on. I don't think it's bad, but I just don't know the strengths and weaknesses of every Guardy build, to be honest. Like, go take Henry Chow's most recent Metafy course or whatever it is. Yeah, I have no I have no opinion on that, to be honest. But I'm gonna go ahead and guess no jelly for the higher placing. And then from there, I don't know. Well, actually, I'm actually curious. Did Gustavo didn't play Team Evo either, actually. Maybe Poltnor is like, hold up. Did
Maybe this
Gustavo
is the best position Poltnor has been since last format.
Well, no, it definitely is. But yeah, Gustavo only played 2 Curly and no Evo. So like Poltnor is still gonna have a good time against Gustavo's build as well, I feel like. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's something to be said as actually Poltnor being like an actual good play, not just the best it's been. If his expected win rate is 20% and now it's 21%, don't play the deck. But if the Guardians are just off the Evos, like almost entirely, there
Mhm.
could be something there for Poltnor to like slip in for this tournament, maybe get the dub. Then the Guardi players put the Evos back into respect, or you try and make that prediction. It's like, okay, everything's coming full circle eventually. I don't know. Interesting.
I'm gonna go with yes, jelly, because I just think it adds that extra layer, and I also think that like there will be good players who do play jelly, and the deck just plays so much differently with Frillish in it compared to without Frillish in it. So
Yeah.
after seeing both Ian and Rowan playing the other weekend in Milwaukee,
Have
I
faith.
think that I've got faith in the jelly for sure.
I could definitely see it going that. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Jelly is the higher placing one for sure.
All right, here's an interesting one, Azul. Will Tord play his Mega Absol deck at Lille this weekend? He's gotten top 8 with it. He's unleashed it to the world. Is he going to stick with it, or is he going to find something that's a better answer into the overall metagame, including his own creation?
I think the answer is going to be he's going to play a better build of the deck than last week. Whether that means it looks something more like what Gabriel played, or just a more fleshed out list of his own build. I think he will be playing. He's been playing like the same deck. He usually sticks to a deck, I feel like, for quite a while most of the time. But I wouldn't like once again, this is like one of those things where I was like, I'm not like, yeah, he's definitely gonna play it. I'd actually be shocked if he didn't. I would not be shocked if he played something else, but I assume he's gonna be playing that. If he goes, I assume he's going as well. I don't actually know for sure, but
I have to
my
assume, yeah.
assumption is he'll be at the event.
Yeah, I also agree. I think Tord will probably stick with it. He does typically stick with the deck through a format, and while I'm sure he's got many decks that he does like, I mean, this is the one that he booked a trip to Milwaukee last second to go play. So I have to imagine he
Yeah.
likes this one the best. I have to imagine he feels like he's going to be favored in the mirrors because he's going to be the most experienced player in it, and he probably will have a better list for the mirror as well.
Yeah, this could be one of those situations where definitely, and I've like talked about this with people in the past, is like how far you can be ahead sometimes in a format or metagame. I wonder if like Tord maybe already has a tech for the mirror. He just didn't play it at Milwaukee because he just like, there's no way I would need this at Milwaukee. But now at Lille would be the time to bring it out if he had anything, or maybe if he's come up with anything since Milwaukee to include.
All right, and last prediction here: pick a player to make top cut.
And this is an easy one for sure because he's made his way there. He's been there for a couple
Wait, no, no,
days,
no!
maybe a
You're going to pick the same
week.
person I want to pick.
Henry Brand. I'm picking Henry Brand.
No, 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 no! Come on, man! Now I don't
Easy
know who to
pick.
pick.
That's an easy. There's no way Henry's going all the way from Australia to Lille and not making top cut. I mean, come on, easy
Gosh.
top cut for Henry Brand.
I almost said I can go first for this one as well. Dang it,
I wasn't gonna
man.
let you. I wasn't gonna let you. I was gonna be like, no, I'm gonna go first on this one.
I don't even know who I want anymore. I was so locked on Henry.
I mean, there's no other
Oh,
good. Like that's you're done. You're cooked.
that's it? Just
There's no one to pick.
toast? It's
Now
definitely
there'll
not true.
be some other players to make top cut. I'm sure.
I wonder if any Japanese players, like if Kaito's going or Ryuki.
Ooh, I would not be surprised to see them
I just
show
don't know
up.
if they're going though. It would be really funny to not pick like a non-European.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I mean, I'll put a little respect. Okay, how about this?
I was gonna say Brent Tonnison's probably going if you're trying to have a Australian battle
I'm an Australian
showdown
match. Yeah,
in
yeah.
Europe.
I am actually going to pick an old faithful in his home country, Stefan Ivanov, to make cut,
Solid pick. Solid pick.
defend the homeland.
Yep. Yep. Honestly, I was gonna say another it would have been a pretty good pick who's been doing pretty well recently, actually would have been the other Frenchman, Fabian.
Fabian, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see how I mean, they are just like literally the top two French players, right? Like I don't is there even a question?
Mehdi is probably up there, but yeah, it's probably just
Yeah.
Fabian and uh, Stefan have kind of separated themselves as top two for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, who even else is on the French?
That's it actually. There's three French players
There's
and
three French
yeah,
players.
that's it. Kind of crazy that more people don't play over there, but
Oh, Johan is actually ranked higher than Fabian in the past 12 months.
ooh.
That's interesting. All right. Well, that does it, Azul, for our episode this week. You got anything else you want to say to the people before we get out of here to our bonus episode?
Nope, nope. Send us out.
Well, thanks a bunch to everyone for listening. I appreciate your support as always. And if you do enjoy the podcast, be sure to leave us a like, a review, rating, comment, subscribe. All those things help us out a bunch. Let us know you're enjoying the content and help for more people to discover it as well. Last week's episode, Azul, was our most viewed episode of all time, just about a month after our other most viewed episode, the World's episode.
Oh,
So
really?
that
Was
is
it?
pretty sick. Appreciate everyone's support. Shout outs to Tord for being such good clickbait.
Yep.
We owe you a steak
Is it
dinner or
even clickbait?
something.
It's not even clickbait though, is it? It's
It's
just
not.
like
It's not, but
content, good content.
it's good content. He helps to make for good content, but we owe him like a dinner or something at one of these ICs for
Yeah, definitely.
for all
All the
the
times we
use
put
of
him in the thumbnails.
his face we've gotten over the years in the thumbnails.
Shout out Tori.
Um, and if you want to stay up to date with myself and Azul, the best place to do it is over on X. You can follow myself at ChipRichie, Azul at Azul_GG, and you can follow the podcast at Uncommon_Energy.
Yeah, appreciate the support as always. We'll catch you all next Wednesday, 7 a.m. Eastern.